Hello guys, hope all of you are doing well. So I come again with some new and interesting topics and success factors as usual. And today I just come with some collections, and those are the very fresh and new topics you can say in success factors in EC domain. Because today we are going to discuss about the fresh Q2 2019 release. That means which is the latest release of EC. So who are very much new in SuccessFactors domains. So let me just tell you that as you know, SuccessFactors is one of the cloud transition tool for HCM, uh, HR module basically. Though it is very hit module in the market at this moment, but still SAP is doing some upgradation of their product based on the feedbacks received from the clients in the form of enhancement request or new tickets they have received, or whatever the gaps they have identified in the product by their internal reviews. They are just trying to fulfill those gaps with some suitable solutions, and those solutions are coming in every quarter in the form of release. That's why in every quarter in the year we can see these releases are coming, and those releases are implemented in the system of success factors. Now during implementation time, first it is implemented in the preview release, as you know, and after 1 month, after getting the feedbacks of the clients that those releases which is going to be implemented in previews, which is already implemented in the preview release, are pretty much acceptable by the clients. Based on that, after 1 month they are going to publish that in the production instance of the clients. So right now, on 11th of May, this preview release is already implemented in the preview instances. With this Q2 2019 release, that means 1905 release, that is already implemented, and based on that I have done this analysis and coming back to you with some informative topics so that everyone can be benefited on that. And coming 8th of June, this release is going to be published in the production. So let's move on to our point of discussion today, that is the important updates on core EC release as per Q2 2019. So there basically two types of release we can find, but before proceeding, I like to request everyone, please pause the video for a while and hit the red subscriber button if you have not subscribed to my channel. You can also find my previous uploaded videos based on the topics majorly in EC, and you can find all of those previous uploaded videos in the playlist called Success Factors. You can find that playlist in the top right corner, probably here at the eye icon. If you click the eye icon, you can find the playlist there, and on clicking the playlist you can find all my previous uploaded videos. You can go through those as well. Hope those videos are also useful to you. Now coming back to our topic. So mainly, as I was discussing, that there are two kinds of upgrades are available as per the releases. One is the universal upgrade, another is the opt-in upgrade. So what are the universal upgrades? Universal upgrades majorly as per the when the release is going to be published in the instances, it will be automatically available. You just need to follow some prerequisite steps to access those functionalities. That's it. And many cases also there are no prerequisite. You can directly access those functionalities. And the admin opt-in upgradation, that is based on your choice. Those will be available in the upgrade center. If you want those features need to be enabled to your system, you can go ahead and enable that from the upgrade center. So today majorly we are going to discuss about the universal upgrades or universal release topics here in this video, and few very important opt-in topics, opt-in upgradations as well, which are very useful. As I found, those are very useful in terms of enabling those for your instances as per your requirements. So let's move on now. So first point as per the Q2 2019 release, that is displaying no changes until that date in Pay Component Recurring Portlets left side history panel as well. So this particular release, this particular change, basically we have already noticed in Q1 2019 release. That means in February there is already these release we have found. So they have done some sort of enhancement on that particular release. So we already the compensation information where we can find employees compensation related data. So there they have introduced one field called no changes until that date. That means that field basically is pointing out the end date of those particular pay components. So if you change any pay components data, automatically that field captures the validity of the end date of that particular amounts and show that. But that was showing in the portlet itself, not in the history panel which is available in the left side. But in Q2 release, this field is also available in the left side history panel as well. So how it will look like? It will look like this one, this picture. From this screenshot you can find it. So it is available in the change history left side panel, and here also this field is available. Earlier this field was not available there, it was available in the compensation portlet only, not in the history panel. So let's check out in the system how exactly which point I'm trying to refer here. So in this video I have tried to point out the impact of the release before we try implement that and after we implement that, so that we what is the impact, that will be very much clear to us. So that's why I'll try to log in two instances. One instance where Q2 2019 release is not published, is not upgraded yet, and another instance where Q2 2019 release is already upgraded. Okay, so and then we try to differentiate what is the impact of these particular changes. So let's go back to the instance and try to see this particular release impact. So here I have already logged into the instance. So this instance, as you see, this is the Q2 2019 release instance. That means where the Q2 2019 release is already upgraded. So let me check the version of this instance. You can see the release version is V1905. That means it is Q2 2000 release upgraded version. And also I have logged into another instance which is Q1 2019 release instance. Basically, if I check the version information, here you can see release 1902. That means Q1 2019 release is updated here, but not Q2 2019 release. So first let us check in the old instance, that means Q1 2019 instance, how this valid until date is populating. So let me just go to business configuration. Now let me go to pay component recurring. So here you can see no changes until date. This field is enabled here. So the prerequisite of these particular changes, this field need to be enabled in our Paycom recurring portlet first. We have enabled it. Now let's pick up one employee. Say it for testing purpose. So say John Go. And let's go to these employees payroll information, means comp info. Okay, so if we go to the history of this employee, so 3rd March 2012 only one record is created for this employee, and on that date basic salary it was set as 3,300. Let me just insert another record here. Let's say it is 1st of May I'm inserting. Let's say the event reason I'm choosing as data change, and data change. This is for just testing purpose. I'm choosing that event reason as data change and making the change amount as 4,300 and saving it. Now just notice here. So I have changed the basic salary of this particular employee. So if we just move to the old record, you can see no changes until that date, that is coming as 30th February 2019. Or that means this 3,300 amount is valid up to 30th April 2019, because on 1st May 2019 I have made the changes and bring back and just populate the new salary for this employee. So these no changes until that date basically represents the end date of that particular amount of the basic salary or any other pay components as well. But just notice that in left side panel, in this panel, change history panel, this field is not reflecting. Okay, it is only reflecting in the portlet level. Now coming to our Q2 release. This is the Q2 instance, 2019 instance basically, and here also we try to make the same change. Let's go to business configuration, and go to Pay Component Recurring Portlet, and here that field is not enabled, so let me enable that field, but no changes until date. No changes until date, and make me enable it. I'm not maintaining the translations at this moment, and saving it. Yes. Now pick up one employee. Let's say the same employee I'm picking in this instance as well. Let's go to compensation and go to the history. So 3rd March 2012 also for this employee in this instance one record is created. So I'm just adjusting and inserting a new record the 1st of May again with the same effective date that we have already done in that other instance. It means Q1 2019 instance. And here the event reason I'm choosing data change, and also making change to the basic salary. Save it. So it is done here, but it is still not populating. So that is one of the point I'm coming back. So let me try to add another record on top of that now. So let's say 20th of May. Data change again. Here also data change again. And try to make another small change, say 4,700. Save it. Now see, so when I make another change, On top of that, okay, so it is basically now this is the middle record basically. So in the middle record, whatever the salary change, no change until date is populating, it is also populating in the left side history panel as well. But this thing is not appearing. This is the basically change. This is the basically new change has been introduced via Q2 2019 release. So it was in previous release it was only populating in the portlet level, but here it is showing in the uh, history panel level as well. So in this is the Q1 release again. So for confirmation purpose, again I'm doing the same insert here. And take me okay, and here as well making it 7,000, 700 and saving it. So same, so what we did for Q2 instance here, after making the change, no changes until date is populating in the middle record, but here the in the history of the middle record it is not coming. So this is the change has been done. Now the question is, when I did for Q2 this Q2 2019 release instance, when I create this second record, why it is not populating? Because there is a limitation of this release. For the first if you make a second entry, in that case it will not populate. That means no changes until date. This field will not populate in your history panel if it is a second record in your history panel. If it is more than two records in your history panel, it will start populating. And uh, the thing is, if your another limitation is, if your first record is a higher record and second record also higher record, it will not populate, because for the higher event reasons, these base salary no changes until date, this field is not populating for the higher events as well. So these two limitations, if there is only two records, these no changes until date is not populating, and if your event is higher event, then also these no changes until date is not populating in your change history portlet, but it will populate in your portlet level. So let's move on to the next change. So the next change in Q2 2019 release is specific document categories for all portlets is available now in managed documents. How it is looks like? It is looks like this one. So let's try to compare again with Q1 2019 release instance and Q2 2019 release instance. So in Q1 2019 release instance, let's go to manage documents. As you know, in managed documents we can manage all of the attached documents for each employees. So this is the, you can say, attached documents library, you can say. So in this video I'm not going to the specific topics in details. I'm just trying to compare what was there earlier up to Q1 2019 release and what is new now in Q2 2019 release. That comparison I'm trying to depict here. So in Q1 2019 release, in managed documents, you can see there was no good filter options. In advanced filters, if you just go to the advanced filters option and try to select the entity type as, say it is person, you can see for person only default and personal information, these two options are available. So filtering option, in filter criteria there are not much options are available. If I want to just filter out those documents are related to employees biographical information or email info information, those categories are not there. Only everything is merged up in the category called personal information. But if we come now Q2 2019 release instance and go to manage documents and go to filter here, go to advanced filter option and try to select person here, entity type person, and then try to check. Here you can see these categories are available now: biographical information or home address or national ID information, personal information, specific categories are available. But earlier those categories all merged together into only on single category called personal information. So now this personal information, this aggregated category is now more subdivided into more small categories, so that we can easily find out our desired attachment from this library. That is the important change has been done in Q2 2019 release. Now coming to the third change which has been introduced in this release, that is availability of correct hire date feature for full time of enable instances. So as we know earlier, this hire date correction feature is already introduced. Hire date correction features mean to say, earlier what happened, if somebody's hire date we try to modify it, we need to modify in the employment details information tab. Also we need to just adjust the job info effective start date tab, personal info effective start date tab, and other related portlets effective start date tab as well. So here, to overcome that, SAP already introduced one feature called correct hire date via MDF. So if we correct that over, so all of those related portlets effective start date is going to be updated as per that. This feature is already introduced before a Q2 2019 release, but there was a limitation. This feature can be utilized for those clients only where they have not implemented time off feature, or they have implemented only time off for leave of absence only, that feature only. If some client have implemented full time of feature, for them this feature correct hire date feature was not available. Now this correct hire date feature is available for those clients as well who have implemented full time of feature. So what to do basically, as you see, this is the option actually we need to choose when we want to display that this hire date correction feature in the permission roles. Let's try to check out in the system. So this is the Q1 2019 release instance. So let's try to see first whether time of feature is already enabled in this instance or not. Let's go to employee central settings. From there we can understand which features are enabled for this instance. So you can see here full time of feature is available. So not only not leave of absence, but full time of feature is enabled. So as per the previous releases, if full time of feature is available, then in that case, in those instances, correct hire date, this feature should not be available. Let's try to check out in the permission role if that hire date permission correct hire date feature is enabled there or not. Let's try to check one of the permission roles. So manage framework. So here you can see there is no correct hire date feature. This option is not there. So that means this was the limitation up to before Q2 2019 release. Now let's check up to our latest instance, that means Q2 2019 instance. This is Q2 2019 instance. Means manage employee central settings. Yes, in Q2 2019 release, let's check the version once again for confirmation. Yes, it is Q2 2019 release 1905. So here you can see the time of feature is already enabled. Now let's try to see in permission role whether correct hire in hire date correction, that feature is enabled there or not. Let's check out manage framework. So here you can see hire date correction. This feature is available here, which was not available in the other releases, previous releases. That means here it is Q2. We again check it here. It is not there, but in Q2 2019 release it is available here. So if we enable this permission, try to save it. So correct hire date feature will be available for you as well. Let's check in manage data, correct hire date. So this feature is available here. You can correct the hire dates here. So this is the one of the changes which has been introduced in Q2 2019 release. But please, when you try to use this object, one thing just keep in mind that you can only correct to the future dated hired records. That means when the date if the employee's hired date is greater than employees. If the hired date is past dated, you cannot use this functionality over there. Okay, so let's now check what are the fourth change has been introduced in Q2 2019 release. Now coming to our next change, which is introduced in Q2 2019. That is, this is also a very interesting change basically. So this is related to add new employee for fixed term. That means hire and termination of fixed term contract employees can be done in one step. So what was happening in earlier? Suppose you are going to hire one fixed term contract employees. That means and say that employee's contract is for 1 year. So if that employee is getting hired on 1st Jan 2018, say, so that employee need to be terminated on either 31st December 2018 or 1st Jan 2019. So that means when that employee is going to be hired based on fixed term contract, then the termination date also need to be set. And earlier this is going to be happen in multiple steps. That means first employee is hired using add new employee hired wizard, and then after hiring that employee, you need to go to again to the employee's termination screen and put the future dated termination date for that employee. But right now these all activities can be done in a single step, and that's why this change has been introduced. So right now a new option or tool is available to hire the fixed term employees, where the hire and termination date both can be set in a single step. So let's see in the system how actually it happens. So we have logged in now in Q2 2019 release instance, and here first the prerequisite to enable this change is you need to go to permission role. Let's pick up one permission which is already created, one permission role. Let's go to the permission and let's go to manage user. So within manage user, you can see this option add new employee for fixed term. This option is available here. So we need to enable this option this permission to get that tool enabled to our Q2 2019 release 19 release instance. So earlier what happened, if you just check in earlier release, this is Q1 2019 release instance. If you go to permission rule here, you go to one of the permission rules. Let's go to permission, go to manage user. Here you cannot find that option is available, means add new employee for fixed term, it is not available here. So this change has been introduced in Q2 2019 release. So as we already have enabled this permission, let's try to check how it will work. So when you are going to now what happened, you can see along with the old add new employee wizard, also the new user wizard is available to hire the fixed term employees. So when you are going there, add new employee for fixed term, you can see hire and termination date, both you can set in the same step. So this is the new change has been introduced here. Now let's move on to the next change. So in next change, you can see uh, access to future dated employment or personal info data as soon as employment is created. So earlier what happened, suppose one employee is going to be hired in future date, but that employee's target managers or whatever the target HR managers or matrix managers, whatever what the managers we have, those managers don't have any uh, access to have that employees uh, employment or personal data. So suppose that employee is being hired, but that there are some correction need to be done in terms of that employee's employment data. So maybe the job code has been wrongly set for that employee, which is going to be hired in coming future days. So manager wants to correct the job code of that employee, but that manager don't have access to view that employee's employment data until that employee's hire date reaches as today's date. And when that employee's hire date reaches as today's date, then only the employment and personal information data will be available to that employee's managers or matrix managers or HRBPs, whatever we have. So now, so that means there is a wasting of time to make some small correction to that employee's employment and personal information data, because a manager have to wait until that hire date comes as today's date. But now SF has introduced these features so that employees manager can avail the employment or personal info details of that employee, means the future dated hired employee, in advance. And how many days in advance, that we can decide. Maybe it is 30 days or 60 days or 100 days, whatever it is, we can decide that via our configuration. To do that, we need to work in our succession data model. So basically in succession data model, these literal extend by number and days, these literal we need to add there and need to specify how many days in advance the managers or HRBPs should avail should get the access of that employee's employment or personal info data. So basically the steps are, uh, we need to set this little in the DG filter, dynamic group filters in the succession data model, and then based on that DG filter, we need to create one dynamic group. Here you can see this detail has been added to employees personal information and job information. So in personal information and job information, these features will be available in advance, that managers or HRBPs, whoever is going to be assigned within that dynamic group, they can avail those. employment or personal info in advance of those number of days in advance. So that is the change has been introduced. So let's check up in the system how actually it will work. So now we have downloaded the succession data model from this instance and try to search DG filter here. So within DG filter, we have already applied this extension of literals, means extend by in days, and we have set this for job information HRS element, and we have set the advanced number of days as 30. That means before employees hire in advance of 30 days, that employees manager or HRBP who are going to be associated with a particular dynamic group, they can avail the employees employment and personal information in advance. So this is already done in the DG filter. Now let's go to the instance and try to check how it will work basically. So this is Q2 2019 instance, and we have already created one new hire employee in future date, and that employee, as being an admin, basically we have the permission to view the future dated transactions. That's why we can see these transactions are available. So let's check first future dated transactions. These employees basically going to be hired on 19th of June, and let's see who is the manager. William Dirt is the manager. So let's go to the org chart now. Okay, let's first proxy William Dirt. We want to see from manager's view how this employee's profile looks like from the manager's view of William Dirt actually. And now go to org chart. We have already proxied to William Dirt. As you see, this is the manager's view, you can say. So let's go to the position org chart. Okay, this is the Williams position org chart, and you can see as of 3rd of July, that means in future date, these new hire employees now available in the position org chart. And let's try to see how this employee looks like from the manager's view. So here is the limitation. So before this Q2 2019 release, what happened when manager tried to access the future dated record of his of the hired employees future dated records, then managers don't have any access. These links are become gray, means not active. So managers cannot access, means target managers cannot access the employment records or personal info records of the future dated hired employees. Now if they want to try to make some change, they have to wait until 19 June arrives. That means the hard date arrives. But here in Q2 release, this limitation is now overcome. How? So let's again become self. And go to permission role, manage permission role. Before that, just try to check uh, job classification is this one for this new hired employee. Now come back to the permission rules. So here I have already created one. Okay, this is the permission role, MSS permission role for the managers. The permission role of MSS. So let's try to create permission group. Okay, so here let's try to create one. Okay, so this is the name, MSS extended by say 30 days. I'm just creating 30 days extension, and let's pick up the criteria as we have already said the DG filter extended by, so these options are automatically coming here. So extended by 30 days, and let me choose this job classification. Let me put that particular employee's job classification here. Okay, now save it. So this permission group is now created basically, and here we need to add it. I'm trying to add it as a target group basically. Okay, not as a permission group. Let me make this permission group for the managers, all managers, and target population. Okay, can't users direct, no, from here only. Whatever the dynamic group we have created, just select it. Includes one level down, that is fine. So now saving these changes. Proxy William dot, because William dot being a manager is now already this MSS permission role is already assigned to this employee called William dot. Now again move to that employee's org chart. Go to the position org chart, and it is showing based on 3rd of July, and this employee is available here. Let's try to check this employee. Now you can see the future dated links are available. So employees manager can see the future dated employment and personal information data. If they click that, they can see, they can also, if the edit permission is enabled, they can also edit those permissions as well. Edit those data of employment as well. So this is how, this is the overcome of that previous drawback, you can say, has been introduced in Q2 2019 release. Now let's move on to the next change of this quarter, and in the next change we can see this is related to one of the GDPR reporting basically. So address information and emergency contact info for dependents can be available in the GDPR Subject User Information report. So in as you know, as a part of GDPR changes, SAP has introduced Subject User Information report. Based on that, we can get one employee's all related data. So no need to just go for piece by piece downloading of biographical information, employment details, job information. All details we can download based on the GDPR subject user information report in a one place. That is the change already being introduced by SuccessFactor. But in that change, basically in that particular report, basically we can download employees address information on and contact information for that subject user only, but not the uh, employees dependents address information and contact information we are not able to download. But in Q2 2019 release, this has been added to that report as well. So this is the thing, basically capture the screenshot from Q2 2019 release. You can see if you go to the biographical information, now employees family and dependents, these address fields are available, so we can download these addressable information data for the particular employees dependents as well. So let's try to check out in the instance again. So we have come to Q1 2019 release first. to check what was the limitation earlier, let's go to subject user information, data subject information, go to people's chart. We just need to check the configurations. Okay, within the configurations, if we just move to biographical information per person, biographical information per person, and there if you just move to dependents, you can see for the dependents you can find only these four information is available to be downloaded. One is accompanying, is beneficiary, attachment and relationship, but no information about the dependents address and emergency contacts. But now if we just move to Q2 2019 release information, GDPR report, let's go to person search. Okay, not to generate a report, just check the configuration here. So here let's go to biographical information, biographical information per person, and try to search the dependents. Yes, this is the dependents, and you can see in the dependents these address fields are available. So these are the new changes has been introduced in Q2 2019 release. So earlier in Q1 2019 release, only these four fields are available for the dependents, but in Q2 2019 release you can see along with those four fields the address fields are also available. So this is the change has been introduced in Q2 2019. So let's move on to the next change. Position to job info sync can work if position data is changed from manage in position quick card. So earlier what happened, position to job information sync rule will work only if we make the change from position org chart. Uh, that means from position org chart and edit the position data. From there automatically it will trigger that position to job information sync rule, and also it will work if we make changes in the position directly in the job information. That means if we change the position code, position to job information sync rule will work there as well. Also it will work if we during the import as well, if the user who is going to import that has the permission to affect the business tool during the import, those kind of permissions is available, then also position to job information sync will work. But it will never work if we try to make some changes in the position from position object and via this position quicker manage position, it will never work there. So right now in Q2 2019 release, they have enhanced this position to job information sync feature, and now it will work if somebody makes some changes to the position from position org chart to the position quick card, and from there position manage position, if somebody goes and makes some changes, the position to job information sync will also work there. Maybe it is some confusion, so let's check the picture here. So this is the manage from position org chart, we can find this option. So earlier it will work if somebody makes some changes in the position from edit, but if somebody makes some changes in the position from manage, it will never work. But right now in Q2 2019 release, if you make some changes via manage, then On saving of that, this kind of pop-up message will generate. Do you want to sync the position data? And if you choose as yes, it will sync your position data with the incumbent's job information data as well. So let's try to check that in the system. First, we have logged into Q1 2019 release, the previous instance, previous release instance basically. First, check it out. Is it working there or not? So let me just pick up one employee out here. Okay, let's go to the org chart first directly. So here in position org chart, let's try to search on employee markbook. So this is the markbook, and let's see. So if we click on there, from position org chart, we can get the position details, and if we click on the show position, we can get the position quick code there. So within this position quick code, there are two options, edit and manage. Let's try to make some change from manage. Just keep in mind, this is Q1 2019 release instance, not Q2 2019 release. So let's try to make some changes out here. And let me just try to change. Say I'm just changing the business unit. As per that, I'm just choosing one of the divisions, and as per that, I'm choosing one of the departments. So there's no such department available. So let's save it and try to check how this looks like. So it has saved now, and no pop-up message also come. Now let's try to see if these changes has been carried forwarded to incumbent's job info or not. Let's go to incumbent markbook case job information. Go to employment. Now go to job history, and if you check the division department, it is still showing the old ones. Whatever the changes we have done to the position, it has not reflected here. So this was one of the limitation out there, because we have made the changes via manage, not via edit. Now let's come to Q2 2019 release back. So here again, go to org chart, position org chart, this markbooks, and go to again the quick code, position quick code, and from there go to manage. In this position, let's try to add some new record on top of that. Let's try to add it from 1st May. Proceed, and try to add some new business unit development. Okay, let's try to save it. See, when I'm trying to set, this pop-up window is coming. Do you want to sync the position data as of 1st May 2019 for the following incumbent? If you choose yes, then your position to job information sync will be automatically happening. It is saved now. Now let's check this employee. So 1st of May, in this record basically the changes should come, and let's see that business unit, division, everything got changed. So this is how this new release has an impact in Q2 2019 changes. And if you make some changes to position, where position quicker, manage position, those changes will also be carried forwarded to job information if those fields are maintained in the position to job information sync rule. Now let's come to our next change, and this is related to your company structure overview. So now sorting option for users in company structure overview is available in Q2 2019 release. So earlier what happened in company structure overview, we can see the data in a random format. We cannot sort it in our desired format, but right now we can this feature is available to sort it in our desired format and populate it as per our expected order basically. So how it should look. So this is how basically it should look. You can see there is a sorting option is available, and when you click that option, these fields are available based on which you can sort your order. So let's try to check out in the system. Let's try to check out first in Q1 2000 release pack, and yet let's go to org chart. In the org chart, let's go to company structure overview, and if you choose business view, say, so you can see there is no sorting options is available. So based on if you want to see the structure based on your business unit, you can see the structure, but there is no sorting options are available. Okay, this is in Q1 2019 release. Now let's check out in Q2 2019 release. Let's go to org chart. Let's go to company structure overview. Let's choose the company structure as business view and try to search based on department here. So when we choose the company structure as business view and search option as department, you can see this short option automatically comes in. Okay, now let's see, let's try to check some departments data. Let's check one step ahead. Okay, so now you can see the data is coming in random way. That means the department code is 999, then 134. It is coming basically one ascending order format, but if you want to see in descending order format how it should look, now it's you need to go to the sorting option. Let's choose the department code, and I just turn it off to descending order and save it. And again just execute the structure. So now you can see it is coming in descending order. That means highest number comes first, then following the other smaller numbers in the departments. So this is how this sorting options can be utilized, and it can be utilized for other company structures as well. If we go to finance, now choose cost center, try to populate the cost centers here. So let me just try to see some cost center. Okay. Okay, let's search the department here again. So lack of data, I cannot show you everything out here, but the same logic can be applicable here as well. If you want to search it here, department, suppose name, you can search it based on that in ascending order. I'm just searching here. So whatever the based on names, it is coming in ascending order. Facilities start with F, that's why it's come first, then M, then O, then P. This is how the order is coming out here. So this feature, or this new additional change feature, has been introduced in Q2 2019. Now let's come to the next change. So next change is about the future dated deletion of matrix or second managers will be removed from the EP as well to sync with EC. That means earlier what happened, if there is any future dated deletion of matrix managers or second managers, then on reaching of that particular date, data will be deleted from EC, but that sync doesn't happen to EP because those data remain same in employee profile. But right now, if you delete some future dated records from matrix managers or second managers, and if there is any mapping maintained between your EC to EP to sync that, then automatically that data will be removed from your employee profile, and both EC and EP will be in sync. So that change already introduced in Q2 2019 release. To test that, you can do it, you can check it by your own, because I cannot create now future dated record and try to show you out here. To do that, I need to build record this video in a couple of days, and it is not possible. So so you can test this scenario from your end. Now if we just move the next change, this change basically a one addition admin opt-in change. It is not universal change, so that is your choice. You want to implement this change for your instance or not. This change is about the transfer direct reports to position hierarchy in termination screen. So when one employee is going to be terminated, then there is an option you can set whether the direct report is of that employee is going to be transferred to that employee's manager or some other manager, or some or no need to transfer it to some managers. That kind of options you can set it, and to do that you need to do a small configuration in the position management settings. So basically in position management settings hierarchy adaptation tab, you need to these new options are available. Reassign direct reports according to position hierarchy on termination screen, and there three options are available. One is no, another is yes optional, another is yes. So if you choose yes, then directly on termination screen, on termination of any employee, his direct reports will be following the existing position hierarchy. That means in that particular position based on which that employee is right now and is going to be terminated in future, somebody is assigned to that particular position, automatically that person becomes the manager of the direct reports of this employee. And until that date, that if the position is vacant, those reportees will not follow any manager. And if you choose the option as yes, there are a couple of other options is coming, and those options are you can find this option in the direct report direct reports these option in the termination screen. And those options can be either move the direct report is to the manager of that employee, or to the other particular manager, or you can individually transfer those employees to individual other managers as well. Those options will be there. But another option is added in Q2 2000 release is the threshold setting. That means if you it is allowed to set some threshold value to move this process either in front end or in the back end job. That means if you suppose you set the threshold as 100, and that particular employee has 150 direct reportees, then this process automatically switches to background job. So as the number of direct reportees is more than 100, but if it is within 100 and if you set the threshold value as 100, in that case all these transfer will follow the synchronous process, and it will be done in the front end itself, just like the import process. In the importing of any data file, UDF file, we can set the threshold. The similar way we can also set the threshold to schedule this job either in front end way or in the back end way, that means either in synchronous or asynchronous way. So let's check out in the system how these options looks like. So I have logged into Q2 2019 release instance, and here I'm going to terminate one employee. Basically, he's the manager. Let's put the termination date as is 31st May. Only determined say reason. And now if you comes down, here you can see these options are coming, direct transfer reports. And why these options are coming? Because if you go to the position management, settings, go to the hierarchy adaptation tab, you can see this option is available, reassign direct reports according to position hierarchy on termination screen. So here three options are available: no, yes optional, yes always. So as we choose the option as no, that's why as option as yes optional basically, so that's why these options are coming. Everyone according to position hierarchy means which option you want to keep during the termination of this employee. All employees are following the same position hierarchy or after the termination of this particular manager, or it is going to be report to the manager's manager, that means release manager, who is Sarah Davis, or some other manager, or some individual transfer of the direct reportees. That means individually you can assign each direct reportees to some specific managers. That option is available. But if you switch this option as is always and save it, then we go to the termination screen again. There you can find no option is available. That means it will now strictly follow the position hierarchy itself. So there will be no additional options you can find for that. So this is how this new feature has been introduced to move the direct reportees directly from the termination screen, and you can choose your own options as per your requirement. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to explain with as much as possible information for the Q2 2019 release, so that you will be aware of these new changes and you can utilize those in your project works in more efficient way.